This is Fred Rachani of TSC News here to recap UFC 222, Cyborg versus Kunitskaya. If you're new here to TSC News, we cover pro wrestling, MMA, and everything in between. So please feel free to subscribe if you're new here. We'd appreciate it. Now, on to the UFC 222 results for March 3rd, I guess technically March 4th, 2018 here on the East Coast. This was a tale of two cards. We had a whole lot of crap. A whole lot of questionable decisions, questionable judging in Las Vegas, by the way. It wasn't like they went to Texas. This wasn't them going to Florida. This wasn't in Brazil. No. This was in Las Vegas, UFC's home hub. We got some very, very weird scorecards. But, of course, all of y'all are tuning in for the result of the main event, which was Cyborg demolishing Kunitskaya in round number 1. Just vicious right hands. Now, I will say this. Cyborg did stun Kunitskaya early on, right at the beginning of the round, and Kunitskaya got a very low single leg takedown. Just took her down, low shot, tried to get the submission attempt, had her back for a second, tried to get the rear naked choke, but people forget that not only is Cyborg an all-time great because of the fact that she strikes like hell, but she's also a great BJJ specialist. We rarely get to see it because she doesn't have to use it because she's got so much damn power. She channeled her inner Deontay Wilder tonight, just rocking, socking, and demolishing Kunitskaya. Wow. Great performance by her. I have no idea who's next for her. I was excited for the Holly Holm fight. I thought it was a pretty good fight, but Holly Holm ended up losing, of course. And, I mean, you look at the list here. I mean, look at some of Cyborg's recent opponents right here, okay? Leslie Smith, Landsberg, Evinger, Holly Holm, Kunitskaya. All these ladies had to go up in weight to fight her. So, is there anybody out there right now? Are there any women's MMA experts, women's MMA fans that are watching this right now? Maybe they watch Invicta a hell of a lot more religiously than I do, or some independent MMA organizations, and they notice some girls that could challenge Cyborg. Let me know. Please give me some names in the comments, because right now, as we speak, I don't see anybody, and I mean anybody, beating this woman anytime soon. And if she was going to get caught, she was going to get caught against an underdog like this, but oh no, she did not. Now, a lot of people are asking me right now in the live chat, if you're watching, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and share. Who won Bryan Ortega versus Frankie Edgar? Well, holy doodle squat, that was a crazy freaking fight. I mean, my God. Bryan Ortega, right, is coming in here, finishing all these UFC fights, looking good, technically undefeated. Comes in there against the former UFC lightweight champion Frankie Edgar. He's eating some shots. Frankie's sticking and moving like he always does. Trying to play the stand-up game because, of course, he doesn't want to go down to the ground with Ortega. I mean, Ortega's a guillotine machine. And what happens? Ortega steps in with an elbow that stuns Frankie. He hits him with a vicious uppercut that knocks him down. And a couple hammer fists later, and Ortega becomes the first fighter ever to stop Frankie Edgar. Think about it. Think about all the fighters that have fought Frankie Edgar over the years. Jose Aldo twice. Gray Maynard thrice. Cub Swanson. Charles Oliveira. The list goes on and on. I mean, all these dudes, and none of them could stop Frankie Edgar, but Bryan Ortega does. Granted, Frankie Edgar is older. He's getting long in the tooth in his MMA career, but he's still one of the top fighters in the world. A Hall of Fame resume. And he got knocked out suddenly in the very first round. Oh my God. After the fight, Ortega once again came off as the most likable guy in the world, put over a charity he's working with, talked about how he wants to change the world. Ortega, Holloway, Ortega with that reach, being able to combat Holloway's reach. Whew. I am so looking forward to that fight. I am so looking forward to some new blood in the featherweight division, as much as I love Frankie Edgar being a New Jersey native. Hot damn. Was that a performance? Those are probably the two highlights of the card, UFC 222. I mean, there were some other good fights, but for the most part, it was kind of marred by some weird decisions and just some plain bad fights. Now, we had Sean O'Malley defeat Andre Sukumtat, I hope I pronounced that correctly, via unanimous decision. This was a pretty damn good fight. I was kind of sort of half watching it because I was still recapping Wilder versus Ortiz. Guys, if you haven't seen that fight on Showtime Boxing, when the replay comes on, watch it. Oh my God, that was the fight of the year. I realize it's only March, but still, fight of the year. Just, oh my God. And for anybody that says boxing's dead, y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. Boxing ain't dead. Boxing ain't dead. Anyway, so in this fight, O'Malley had the upper hand in the first 2 rounds. And then it looks like, again, I was kind of recapping the boxing match. I was kind of half watching this. He got taken down by Andre. He injured his leg, but he survived, weathered the storm, and won via unanimous decision. The scores are 29-27, 29-27, and 29-28. And it was awesome because this dude's like on his back. The doctor comes to check on his leg, his foot, or whatnot. He's squeezing it. It's like, hey, my legs hurt. Okay, let me squeeze your foot. And it's like he's clearly in pain. And he did the interview with Joe Rogan off of his back. By the way, I also want to send a special shout-out real quick to my old colleague at Spike TV, Tyler Connell. I worked with Tyler, who's the son of the late UFC producer Bruce Connell, who passed away suddenly, I believe, on Friday. Tyler's a great guy, somebody I worked with on MMA Uncensored Live and some Bellator specials. Really sad story. Bruce Connell was UFC producer, I think, for like 2 decades. Also worked at ESPN. Universally respected. Just want to send my love to the Connell family. Tyler's a great guy, and while I never met his dad, you could tell that, you know, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. I mean, just a great dude, and obviously raised right. So my deepest condolences to the family of Bruce Connell. God bless him. We had a heavyweight matchup between Andrei Arlovski and Stefan Struve. I was not watching this. I'm not even gonna lie. I was not watching this. I was watching the Wilder fight. I mean, how hilarious is that, right? You have an all-time great heavyweight fight in boxing, and then you have this. I don't know what this shit was. It was Andrei Arlovski and Stefan Struve in 2018. One guy who's way past his prime, another guy who should have been a way better fighter in his career, and for whatever reason, he could just never take the physical gifts he was given and put it together to go on a real heavyweight run, title run. And that being Stefan Struve. So, believe it or not, Andrei Arlovski in 2018 defeated Stefan Struve via unanimous decision. Yeah, I'm surprised too. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, man, can you imagine how bad you had to fight to be freaking Stefan Struve to lose to Andrei Arlovski? Yeah. Anyway, so that was that fight. Pretty forgettable. We had Ketlin Vieira take on Kat Zingano. She beat her via split decision. This was a good fight. I mean, Vieira did look good most of the fight. I thought she clearly won. It was not a split decision in my humble opinion. Joe Rogan seemed to agree with me. But Kat Zingano did mount a comeback late in round 3 and did her thing. She would not give up. I mean, Kat's got unbelievable heart, but Ketlin was a better fighter tonight. It was kind of weird to see George Gurgel, the obscure UFC journeyman, resurface as a translator. Weird. It was like 2005 UFC all over again. We had CB Dalloway defeat Hector Lombard in the prelims via disqualification. Hector Lombard hit him with illegal punches after the bell. I posted the video on the sportscourier.com on the front page if you guys want to check it out. Just so ridiculously blatant, man. Just totally blatant. Very blatant. We had Alexander Hernandez knock out Benio Dariush in round number 1. 42 seconds. Whew. Not bad for a dude as a late replacement in his UFC debut. We had John Dodson defeat Pedro Munoz via split decision, 28-29, 30-27, 29-28. Yeah. We had a damn good fight between Mackenzie Dern and Ashley Yoder. Mackenzie Dern being the highly regarded MMA prospect coming into this fight, 5-0, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Obviously a very beautiful woman who's considered marketable by the UFC, hence why she was put in the main event of the prelims on FS1, which is a pretty big spot for a girl or a guy, in their debut fight in the UFC. She got the win via split decision, 28-29, 29-28, 29-28. Personally, I thought Ashley Yoder did enough to win. Wasn't the end of the world, in terms of scorecards, but it was one of many split decisions. Dern was trying to get the takedown this whole fight. Couldn't get it until late in round 3. Nearly locked in that rear naked choke. She couldn't fully get that arm underneath the chin. Yoder hung on. I thought Yoder did enough to win, but hey, that's what happens, I guess, when you leave it to judges and questionable MMA judges, for that matter. We had Jordan Johnson defeat Adam Milstead via split decision. We had Cody Stamann, I believe his last name is, defeating Bryan Caraway via split decision. And we had a very, very sad ending to Mike Pyle's career. On Fight Pass, Zak Ottow defeated Mike Pyle via TKO in round number 1. Tough ending, but hey, guy knew when to walk away. You can make the argument he probably should have walked away a couple years back, but, better a little late than very late and never. That's for sure, especially for his brain. So shout out to the former WC champ. I hope he has a great post-UFC life. So overall, not a great UFC show. I think the last 3 fights on the main card made up for it. The opener wasn't that bad. Some people liked it, some people hated it. I thought it was fine, but yeah, if you're comparing it to the UFC pay-per-view standards of old, it's definitely not at that level. And when you consider the fact that the main event was between a nothing gal who had no business being in the ring with Cyborg, and when you consider the fact that main event ended like that, and you consider the fact that a lot of people, okay, maybe not a lot of people, some people, paid $60 for this ish. Never mind the people that paid to be there live. Yeah, what can I say? I'd probably go with a thumbs down, especially when you got Wilder versus Ortiz. And I know not everybody here watching this is a boxing fan, but if you're a fight fan, you're gonna love that fight. Check it out. But folks, I'm gonna get on out of here. I want to hear from you. What you think about UFC 222? Who do you think is next for Chris Cyborg? Let me know. Leave a comment below. Tweet us, Facebook us. Do what you got to do. If you liked this recap, please click the like button. Share it with all your friends. Subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, enjoy the fights.